Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining in. Guys, इस वीडियो में we are discussing about the one of the very important aspect of our course, that is how to import data in MySQL once you are done with the cleaning process. So in your exams and in general, whenever you want to perform data analysis using MySQL or any kind of database which uses SQL for sure, then first you need to import the clean data into MySQL and then you can perform the operations. So for example, we have a data here. So I will explain both the process. One is that if you have a direct data set, how to import. Second, if you have a messy data which you turn into a clean data, then how to import. So let's say I have this data and I'll because it is posted on Google Classroom, so that's why I am directly opening it in Google Sheet. So in exam also you will see the link of the data which will be opened in a Excel Google Sheet. So what you need to do is, since that will be messy data, so you will need to download that as Excel and then you will need to perform in operation in Excel. But let's say I want to directly import this data into MySQL, so I'll just download it as a CSV file. So as soon as you download it as a CSV file, the file is being downloaded. Now the step 2, this is what I'm telling when you directly import into the MySQL. So you need to go to MySQL Workbench. Please make sure that you have both the things installed. First is MySQL Workbench and second is MySQL Server, because if you have MySQL Workbench installed but server is not installed, then in that case this local instance server will not be visible to you. And if the MySQL is only installed as a server and Workbench is not installed, then you will not be able to do this process. So both the softwares are required. So once you are on the screen, click on this and whatever your password was, enter the password. In my case it is 1234. Now click on OK and now you are here in the window. So from here you can see there are two options, administrations and schema. So you need to come to schema, and in general if you want to perform data analysis using MySQL, it is considered as good practice to create a new database. So as of now there are multiple databases apart from SYS, so you will not use the SYS, that is system database. You will use any other database. So if there are database and you can directly import, or you want to utilize any existing database, you can do that. And if you want to create a new database, that's something which is a standard practice should be. So in order to create a new database, the first step is to perform a query that is called create database. So create space, let me zoom in a little bit. Yes, so create space database space. Now you have to name the database whatever you want. Make sure it is not similar to all the database that is already here in your system. So in my case, let's say I call it as MyDB. And then put semicolon. Once you run this query by pressing this thunder button, you can see that here is a green dot, create database MySQL, one row affected successfully. Green dot means successfully executed. But I can see that MyDB database is not visible here because I just created it. I need to refresh this window. So here is a small refresh button. If you click on this, now you can see MyDB is there. So database is now created. Now to import the CSV data from that CSV file, all I need to do is I need to select this database, right click or double tap, whichever applicable on your laptop. Click on that and then here you can see table data import wizard. Just click on this and from here you need to browse the file and select that particular file. Here is the file name. Make sure that either you rename the file in such a way that it should not contain any special character or space on anything, or if you directly import this like this, click on open, then make sure that you put the table name carefully. So let's say I did not change my file name, I select it as it is. Now click on next. Now here you can say the create new table. It says create new table where in my new database MyDB, which I just created, and now it says this will be the table name. And of course if this will be the table name, you will definitely face problems while writing the query because it has space, it has special character and everything. So I'll just remove it and I just name it as same like MyDB table, for example. You can name it anything, but make sure that you remember and you use this name while performing SQL queries. So I name it as MyDB table. Now click on next. Now here are the mapping the field type to the column name. So order ID, I have order ID data, which is a numerical kind of data. So as I told you in class as well, that whenever you want to import any numerical data, the field type or data type is always an integer if it is numeric data. If it is a alphanumeric or text data, then the data type will be text. But in case of date, there is a special data type which is called date and time. So you need to select that. Product, we have text data, so text is okay. Category, text data okay. Region, text data okay. Sales data is something which is in decimal. So whenever there is a numerical data and has decimal values, then in that case it is always considered as double. So it is taking by default as double, and then quantity again integer. Once all the data types are properly mapped with the columns, then click on next. The data will be imported like this. Next, and now you can see that how many records are imported. Please make sure that you see this screen and see this message and verify with the number of records that that is there in your original CSV file or Excel file, whatever you import, that this number should match. Because let's say if you clean any data from in Excel and then you finally import, and let's say you were having 300 records in the final clean version, but you see that only 200 records are imported. In that case, whatever SQL queries you will perform, that will give you a wrong answer. So please make sure that this data number is matching with your original data or the imported file. If you see 0 here, or if you see some mismatch, repeat this step again, and till the time you see this one, of course in second time you will see the correct number. Once it is done, click on finish. And now if I again refresh here, and if I just click on this arrow button and expand it, come on to table, now you can see my data table is there, my DB table. The table name is created, and if I again further expand it and click on columns, I can see all the columns here. But how will I get to know whether the data is imported properly? I could see that 500 records imported successfully, but how do I check? So second query, so please make sure that before running any other query, you remove the previous one and then you write the new one. So in my case, I am writing select star from table name is my DB table and semicolon, and then click on run. Now you can say it says no database selected. This is the error that you will get if you have multiple databases, because Workbench will not be able to identify you are referring to which table and this table is inside which database. So you need to first run a query, and that's why I specifically executed this query, so that I could show you this particular error, that is no database selected. So for this you need to use and then followed by database name, that is in my case my DB. So now I am giving a command to this MySQL that I want to use my DB database for all my further operations in this particular session. Now I click on run. It says green arrow, 0 rows affected, but now I am inside the database. And now if I run that same query, that is select star from table name is my DB table semicolon. And then if you run it, you can see the database here and you can see all the tables here. So now you can perform all the queries, whatever mentioned in the question paper or in a task that you are supposed to, and then you can close the output. Now let's say in any case you want to change the table name or you want to modify the column name. It is a possibility that in some cases you imported the data, you did not notice that the table name has some space or anything, or maybe you want to update the table name. So what you need to do is select the table name, right click, it says alter table, click on alter table, and then here you can say on the top table name, current table name is my DB table. Now you can change it, you can remove this, and you can, let's say my table DB, for example, I want to give it like this, my table DB, right? So this will be the new table name as soon as I click on apply. Similarly, if you want to change anything in the name of the column, you can click on the column name. You can see column name here. You can remove this and you can select. So for example, I have a sales column in which some special characters are there which are not identified, and this will definitely give you error. So I selected the sales column and now I can remove this one, and I also remove the space. There should not be any space in the column name. Now one thing which you might face because of the laptop screen size, that sir, we are not able to see the column name. In that case, there are a couple of options that you can try, and by any of the option you will get the column name for sure. So first thing, that this is currently full screen in terms of MySQL window. So you can just click on this minimize icon, and this will be again minimized little bit, right? And now you will be able to see it. If you don't see it still, there are this double arrow. You click on one time, you will be able to see it. If you don't see it again, then you need to stretch this column on the right, and maybe full width, stretch column left or right, you will be able to see the column name. So try any of these three, you will be able to see it. If you don't see it, please of course let me know. So I just renamed this product column name, that is sales, and I change the table name. Now I click on this apply button, and then click on apply button. You can say SQL script was successfully applied to the database. Click on finish. It means now my table name has changed here. You can say refresh. My table DB name of the table is changed, and the sales column is also modified. You can now cross this window, come back to your query again. There are multiple windows. Now you can perform all the queries. So this was the first method to import the data directly from CSV. Now let's talk about the second method. Let's say I have this data in Excel format because of, let's say I want to clean this data first. So I'll of course download it in Excel, not in CSV. And then I'll open the file. In Excel, usually similar to how we open the file, it will be opened in Excel, and I'll click on enable editing. So let's say this is my messy data. I performed some operations, right? And finally I have some clean data. Let's say I have this as a clean data, for example. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this. So I'll just press Ctrl A. I'll click on copy. Right now it is in Excel. I need to convert it in CSV. So what I'll do, I'll just click on file, create new file, blank workbook, and then paste it here. But I will not save it, this new file, as Excel. Instead, I will go to again file, click on save as, choose the location, and I'll give it as CSV. I'll save it as CSV and click on save. It says, do you want to replace? Of course, I have already a file name named as book1. So I'll just rename it. Click on save. Yes. If this shows a warning, you can click yes. So now this particular clean data which I did after the cleaning process, now it is saved as CSV, and again the data import process is same. You create a database, choose that CSV file and import that, and further steps are as it is. So either you directly import a CSV or you import after the cleaning of the data. The process is same. The only difference is that to make or to save it in a CSV, first you need to clean this data. Now only copy the cleaned columns and then create a new file, paste it, save that new file as a CSV, and then you are good to go for again the same process. So that's how you can use the MySQL for your exam and for your practice in order to import the data. Thank you so much.